Junk food supper.
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 Food supper. Junk food
Junk
supper.
food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
Junk food supper.
All right, welcome to Junk Food Supper, the internet's number one journeying to the center of the earth podcast. This is one of your hosts, Sean Byron, joined as always by our other host, Perky Beantown Bowman, up there in the 559. What's going on, Bowman?
Hey, not much, just hanging around, enjoying the weather, this fun, only 95-degree weather.
Oh, wow.
Although it is fiery. Is it fiery where you are? It's fiery where I'm at.
Yeah, there's a lot of fires. That is a bummer. And those fires, I haven't checked, but I think they do clock in at higher than 95 degrees.
Yeah, well, that is true. Yeah, I've been around for some pretty apocalyptic fires. It has rained ash down upon me here. I've left my house and not been able to see down the street because of all the smoke. There's been a lot of stuff but this is the first time that I've been able to look east towards the mountains and seen the smoke from the fires in real time that were that close. Usually it wafts in from other areas, but it's I can see the fires from where I'm at right now. So it's a new level of scary.
Can you see the flames at night?
That's a good question. My house is a little when I was on the hill coming in from work, I could see the smoke, but where I'm at in town, it's kind of it dips in, it's a little valley, so I can't see the mountains from where I'm at, but I will look. Maybe I'll find an excuse to go get a Diet Coke or something tonight and look. I bet I probably can.
I don't think you need any excuse to go get a Diet Coke. I think you've earned it, man. Treat yourself.
That's true. Have you been able to see fires from where you are?
Not the flames yet. We see a lot of smoke. There's 3 different major fires here, outside of LA, and I can see the plumes from all 3 of them. Strangely enough, it has not yet been raining ash on us, but I think it's only a matter of time before that happens.
Yeah. It seems like every time I check the news, which is all day at my work, obviously, there's a new fire that has sprung up. Usually around you, usually on the east side of Los Angeles, they're telling me.
Well, let's not point any fingers. I know that, I've had my run-ins with the law, but I'm not an arsonist, Bowman.
Well, I wasn't making any accusations,
You think a man like me who, with such a high regard for wood, would burn down a forest? A man who has been proven to be the number one David Lynch fan? That guy doesn't burn down forests.
I'm not sure if that's objectively true, the latter part, but you do respect wood. I know that. You would hate to accidentally burn down Josie in her, where she lives now inside the wood.
Yeah, I wouldn't want the world to be robbed of that beautiful humming noise that she's been working on for the past 25 years.
Is that her? Is that what she's doing?
Do we need to rewatch season 3 of Twin Peaks yet again?
Dude, no. If it turns out that I missed a Josie subplot in season 3, I would hate to go back and rewatch.
All right, fair enough then. Let's keep you ignorant of that, I guess.
All right. Now I'm going to have to look it up. All right, I'm going to watch 7 more hours of Twin Peaks season 3 videos on YouTube later tonight after I get that Diet Coke.
Well, again, you've earned it.
Well, I think so.
But yeah, I think 2020 was maybe the worst fire season that I remember. It felt like the world was ending that year, where you'd wake up and there would be days where the sun didn't come out, and that was wild time. So hopefully it doesn't get to that point. I'm a little nervous based on the size of these 3 fires and the containment levels and everything else. It just doesn't seem like they're getting anything under control. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. I think that was the year where I would get up to go to work and I just couldn't see anything. It was just the mist or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the upside, we had those cool, Blade Runner-esque sunsets or whatever,
Yeah. That was a good trade-off, I guess. Inhaling 20 years worth of air pollution to get a nice, beautiful sunset.
Yeah, to be reminded of that cool scene with Bautista on that, in that desert world.
Yeah.
What is that? It's outside of Vegas or something? Where was that with Bautista?
Yeah, that's in Vegas. Yeah, when he goes to find Harrison Ford, that's Vegas.
It's
The
good
other,
stuff.
well, that's like the red smoky world where he finds Batista is somewhere in LA somewhere, but it's like the gray deserty world where he finds him.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm mixing up my Blade Runner 2049 deserts.
There's a few deserts in there. San Diego's also a junk desert.
Well, I think that's just ripped from reality, right?
I was just shot on location. They didn't
Yeah.
have to do anything for that one.
Yeah, that part of the film's actually a period piece,
Yeah.
But what else is new other than wildfires?
Well, me personally, I saw a movie
Oh, yeah?
over the weekend. I saw Beetlejuice Part 2. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Oh, you're wheezing that juice.
I am wheezing the juice.
I've heard of it. And I've seen Beetlejuice, but I haven't seen Beetlejuice.
Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. The boys discuss Beetlejuice for the next couple of minutes, and it's sort of borderline spoiler-y. So if that's something that bothers you, skip ahead about 4 minutes. You can also skip past the part where they mistakenly call the French skeleton guy from the Beetlejuice cartoon the wrong name. It's Jacques, not Pierre, you dummies. End of spoiler warning.
Well, it turns out they reveal something about the character of Beetlejuice, and that's the juice that he's named after is actually the juice of member berries.
Oh,
Because the whole movie is just like, hey, do you remember Beetlejuice? Hey, do you remember the Harry Belafonte music? Hey, do you remember the school for girls that Lydia goes to at the end? Hey, do you remember Lydia's red dress? Hey, do you remember sandworms? Hey, do you remember
What about
tickets?
the modern art sculptures?
What's that?
The modern art sculptures, those weird, the mother gets real into those weird sculptures, that come to life towards the end.
Oh yeah, they're in it too.
Oh, they're back, the sculptures?
They are. They do get screen time. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Every single thing you remember gets screen time.
Flatman's in it?
No, not Flatman. Flatman's not there.
Oh, R.I.P. Carmen.
Yeah, but little head guy. You remember him, little head guy?
Well, of course, little head guy's in it. We all knew little head guy would be in it.
Yeah, little head guy's back. Not only is little head guy back, but there's like 7 of him in the movie.
The real question is, does Pierre the Skeleton Man from the cartoon make an appearance?
He does not. I think that they make a reference to that dog from the cartoon, but I'm not totally sure because it's been 35 years since I've seen the cartoon.
Disrespectful.
Are you watching it regularly, the cartoon?
I'm saying Tim Burton disrespecting the canon of Beetlejuice the cartoon by not including Pierre.
That's true, yeah.
You're free not to watch it. I mean, you got all these other priorities like trying to get a Diet Coke.
Well, yeah, that's true. Pierre was great.
Yeah, we all loved Pierre. Finally, for once, we had a Frenchman that we could, look up to and root for.
Well, I like the hideous frogman from Freaked. He's one of my favorite French people.
Okay, well, you're just saying that because we're fresh out the Frog Brewery round of Music League.
That is true. I did pretty well that round, too.
You got frogs on the brain. I'm surprised that one frog techno song that I think Jackie Stewart picked, but I could be wrong on that. But that cool frog techno song that was all bloopy, I thought that thing should have won.
Yeah, that was a good one. That really felt like a song that frogs would actually listen to.
Yeah. Not just some song that the band has the word frog in their name, and even though it's unlistenable, we're going to pretend like frogs who have good taste in music would enjoy this.
Yeah. Well, anyway, are you going to see this? Are you going to see the Beetlejuice?
Eventually, I think. I'm not too hyped. It seems like the reaction has been pretty mediocre all around. A couple of my friends seem to have enjoyed it, but mostly it's been, all right at best, I think is the kind of feedback that I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. Pretty much everybody that I've heard from is like, yeah, it's fine. I like it, kind of. So I feel like a hater since I did not like it. But
is the music any good?
The music is pretty good. It's my man Elfman.
Yeah.
And one of the better parts of the movie actually is that it does have like a very long opening credit scene like the original where it does this same exact thing. It goes over the town again. But like with like a redone version of the theme. And that's like so rare these days to see a movie that has like a long opening credit sequence that I really liked it. It was like, it gets you in the mood, like that theme's pumping you up to get you like, it conveys like that kind of fun, ghostly energy so well that it really pumps you up. Movies really, I mean, I know that they do it because of TikTok brain has like rotted away people's attention span so that you don't want to sit through 6 minutes of words before you get to the movie anymore. But like, it really does help out a movie to have a long opening credit sequence.
Yeah, I agree. But actually, when I asked you if the music was any good, I was referring to the new round of Music League that we've been playing, the MLB Arch round, which is baseball themed.
My mistake. I haven't listened to it yet, but
what?
I know that my song's a banger, so I imagine that bumps up the average a bit.
Okay, all right, yeah. I'm not sure which one you picked. I'm not even going to poke and prod because I feel like that's against the rules.
I agree. At least until we have both voted.
Yeah, that's the courteous thing to do. To be respectful to all the players of Music League. Sure, it would be easy for you and I to collude, seeing that we chat so much, but that's not cool, right?
Not cool. You don't want to do it. You don't want to ruin the integrity of a Music League.
And so far, it's been, pretty rock solid. Very few people join and then don't vote multiple rounds in a row. That never happens. Nobody ever changed the rules mid-game in the last game to their own advantage.
Yeah, those are two big Music League faux pas.
Yeah, but it's been a fun experience. By the way, if you're out there and you want to join the Music League, you can't join this one, but you can join the next one. Just get on our Discord and ask us about it. We'll send you a link.
Yeah, we'll give you some information.
Did you happen to see AEW All Out this past weekend?
I did not. I never get those AEW pay-per-views, but it seems like I should have, because this one is making all the ghouls just like fucking piss and shit all over themselves, and it seems like I'm really missed out.
I think, well, it's not too late. It's still, available. I'm pretty sure you can still plunk down the $50 for it, which, I hate paying for anything. You know me. I'm a real, spendthrift. And if I can avoid paying for things, I always try to do that. But I felt good about this purchase, man. I felt like, you know what? You guys earned my $50. I hope it's divided evenly amongst the wrestlers. Hopefully the people who were not on screen don't take too much of that $50. Because these guys, yeah, they put their asses on the line out there. It was pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I feel like $50 is just fucking crazy in 2024 for a pay-per-view.
It is. Yeah, I can get like 3 full streaming services for a month of streaming movies all day long for that kind of money, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if they were charging like $20, I'd buy every single one of them. But 50 is crazy. Like I think the last pay-per-view thing I got was like a Rough and Rowdy. It's like a kind of a tough man boxing thing that Barstool Sports does, where like these like rednecks in West Virginia like fight each other, and I think that was like $15 or $20 or something. Like that's the optimal amount, I think.
But I think if you grade it on a curve of the value that you get for $50 versus these rednecks, knocking each other's teeth out, I think you're still doing good on the $50.
That's probably true. I mean, Rough and Rowdy's like pretty fun, but it's like also like super throwaway. Like just to see these rednecks box, but yeah. So what was the match of the night? What was the highlight for you?
I liked. I always like Willow Nightingale, so I liked her match with Chris Statlander. But the main event was what everybody's talking about, and I think for good reason. The Hangman Adam Page Swerve Strickland steel cage match was nuts. And I've seen plenty of steel cage matches. It's not like I'm any stranger to Japanese death matches or anything like that. And I saw plenty of things in this match that I had never seen before.
Yeah, I saw a few clips on Twitter and stuff. It seemed pretty intense.
Yeah, there's a spot with a cinder block that's like still stuck in my mind where I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that seemed pretty wild. they were doing like some stuff that you could only see previously in like a Jackass movie. Syringes.
Yeah, or a Ghoul Summer movie.
Yeah. And the whole match happened. Like I don't have cable, so I don't get to watch AEW until they finally make this fucking Netflix deal or whatever they're doing, or HBO or whatever kind of deal they're going to make. But the whole thing was going on because one of these men burned down the other man's house. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was like the latest level of escalation, that happened in the last week of TV. But, they've been going back and forth for a while. But yeah, there was a full house being burnt down. And I don't think it was a special effect. I think they burned down a house, like an abandoned house or something that was scheduled for demo, I'm guessing. But who knows?
That rules. I love that kind of stuff. Like all those like super over the top stories that you used to get in like WWE like a long time ago. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm sad that I've not been tuned into this.
Yeah, and I mean likewise on not having cable, but again, if you're crafty and you're a guy like me who doesn't want to pay for anything, cable included, you can find ways to watch things. And so you can watch I watched all the TV shows. I just watch them one day late. You know what I mean? Find somebody on the internet that will lend me a copy.
I'm going to call the police and let them know about this.
Oh.
But
Yeah,
the pay-per-view, I mean, if, dudes are getting power bombed onto cinder blocks, I don't want to rob them of their payout for that. So
that's a good point. Yeah. I saw the clip of Chris Statlander like getting thrown onto the thumbtacks vagina first, and she deserves money for that.
Yeah, dude. She did a split right into the thumbtacks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a new one.
Yeah, that's delightful.
It's yeah, like I said, it's not too late, so check it out.
Okay. I just may. But what if we check out a segment that we've got scheduled for this week? Is that a good segue?
I could check that out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that works.
Well, I came up with this segment in honor of the movie we'll be talking about later, which is Journey to the Center of the Earth. We've done this several times now, so I was thinking, what if we were stuck in a Groundhog Day loop? And what if we were the protagonist of a movie? What movies would we like to be stuck inside of for all of eternity, living over and over and over again?
That's real entrapment.
Yes, what if you were trapped in one of these movies? So I've got a couple of movies here. I got like 2 or 3. The first one is very obvious. This will kind of like set the tone for what we mean by this segment, I suppose, in that it's like a very basic bitch pick that I'm sure everybody would come up with. But Dazed and Confused would be like a movie that you would want to be inside and live over and over and over. Like, I think that would be very pleasant. It's the last day of school. That's always a great feeling.
Oh, yeah, man. I remember that last day of school. Man, even like last week of school is great. But then you put me on the exact last day. Damn, dude.
That's really a feeling you don't even get as an adult. Like once you're over the age of 18 or 17 or whenever you graduate, like that feeling is over. Like, I mean, I guess like if you're a teacher, maybe, I guess that's the only way to still get it. Maybe that's why people go into teaching.
I mean, basically you have to hit the lottery as an adult and be like, oh, cool, I guess I can quit my job. And then you kind of get that feeling, right? Otherwise, it's just, you're pushing that boulder up that hill.
That's true. Yeah. Like if you retire, that's the only other time as an adult is if you actually get to retire, which nobody our age will ever get to do. So whenever baby boomers get to retire.
No, it's going to be, bankruptcy straight into suicide. Retirement? No.
That's what we're all looking forward to. But yeah, so that's a great feeling. The 70s seemed very cool. You didn't have to worry about what Donald Trump was saying on Twitter or anything like this. You didn't have to worry about World War III with Ukraine and Russia and Israel and all this kind of stuff. Don't
try to rent any apartment units in the Bronx or whatever. Otherwise, you might have to deal with Trump in that scenario.
Yeah, that's like the only time you'd have to deal with him. I mean, I guess like you might have to wait in line for gasoline, but it was probably only going to be like 15 cents a gallon, so no big deal.
Yeah, and where the hell are you going anyways? Fancy boy. It's the 70s. Yeah. Kick back, have a joint, you know?
Yeah, just drive out to the field and party with your friends.
Yeah. But that does require gasoline, though, driving out to the field. Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, the field's, not too far out of town, I guess.
That's true. It's the 70s. Fields are everywhere.
Yeah, they had a lot of them back then.
This is back when America was the leader, worldwide in fields.
I think so. W.C. Fields was still alive at the time.
Sure.
The famous comedian.
Hey, and let's talk 1970s baseball fields. There were some good, good ones back then, I'm sure.
Man, yeah, baseball whenever year that movie is set in 76, man, talk about some great baseball. They didn't have designated hitters. They didn't have this pitch clock. They were just living pure.
Dude, they didn't even have trainers or, diets or exercise programs. These men out there were wasted. They were hammered. They were surly. And they had the best mustaches it's basically like going to, see a sport played by 18 Charles Bronsons on the field. You know what I mean? Just the surliest mustachioed men.
They were doing LSD while pitching games. They didn't care. These men just loved to party back in these days.
Yeah. And we love them for it. They were good at it,
Absolutely. So I think that would be a good one to relive. Unless, of course, you were one of the freshmen that was going to get paddled by Ben Affleck.
Yeah. Or a minority.
Well, that is also true. But Richard Linklater didn't really cast any minorities in the movie. So I guess that it may not apply specifically to this movie. But in real life, that is correct, yes.
Excellent. I mean, I like it. I think it's a bit of a cheat in that it's not a movie where anything really happens, where you're saying, I want to go through these events. You just want to be in the 70s. And I think we all just want to be in the 70s. I understand that.
Well, last day of school is an event. Going to that party is an event. Hanging out with Matthew McConaughey is an event. But yeah, you're right.
All right. Well, on a similar note, I also would like to take a trip back to the 1970s. So I've picked as my first selection, the Shaggy DA. You remember the Shaggy DA?
Yeah, the movie where that dog punches that guy.
Yeah, the dog punches the guy. And basically, the reason that I want to live in the Shaggy DA universe is that, it's, first of all, you get to live in this fantasy version of Burbank that was designed by the Walt Disney Company in the 1970s, where everything's just clean and colorful and perfect looking with a specific kind of fakeness that I really like. But more than anything, I get to be married to Suzanne Plachette. It's probably why I picked the Shaggy DA. And, there's also the benefit of all the policemen in town reporting to my pet dog, and I think that would be a real advantage. If I did want to commit arson, if I had the Shaggy DA on my side, who would stop me?
That is a good point. You could commit a lot of crimes. Yeah. So wait, would you be turning into the dog? I forget exactly what happens.
I don't think I could handle that. No, I'm just the I'm the father of the family. I'm married to Suzanne Plachette. Certainly, the dog is not getting down with Suzanne Plachette, right?
That's probably true. Yeah.
So I need to minimize the amount of time where that's not available to me. So I'm just I'm the man of the house, but we've got a dog that turns into a DA basically, rather than it being the other way around.
Okay. And well, this is actually good because, if this is a true Groundhog Day scenario, then you would probably be confused about this dog that had human qualities for the first, 5 or 6 go-rounds. But after a while, you would know that there was a dude in there. So you'd be in on it, you could really after you learn, you could really jump off and do some wacky adventures once you know that dog's a dude.
Yeah, I could use it to my advantage. Certainly try to, sneak into movies, get the senior ticket price, pretend he's my grandpa or something,
Mm-hmm.
So all kinds of possibilities with a Shaggy DA,
Yeah. As long as they're dog-based and also law enforcement based, I guess. It's kind of a weird,
Yeah.
kind of a weird niche thing, but it seems like it could be fun.
And Burbank centric, I think, has to be kind of core to any of the antics that happen. It's got to be in or around Burbank. Glendale, that's fine. Valley Village, I'll take that. But we're not going over the hill.
Yeah, that's understandable. How long has Chili John's has been there for a long time, since the 70s. So yeah, you could go to Chili John's every day.
I am certain, actually, that canonically Shaggy DA prefers Chili John's to any other chili. I'm pretty sure it's in the script. It may not have actually survived to the edit, that we saw on screen, but I know he's a fan.
That could be. We'll have to try that other chili guy who's like right down the street next to
Larry's Chili Dog. Big scandal with Larry's Chili Dog. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to handle this controversy, and I regret to inform you. Because it took me aback. I was kind of flustered and still kind of am flustered by this. But yeah, as you mentioned, right down the street from Chili John's, famed chili venue in Burbank, is another Chili'sman, Larry's Chili Dog. He's been there, I think, for almost the same amount of time, since like the 50s or something. And he's got this cool neon sign out there from the 50s, rusted as all hell. It's been rusting since the 50s. Got 70 years worth of rust on the thing, but you can still kind of make out that it says Larry's Chili Dog underneath all the rust, and that's enough. Until this past week, or a couple weeks ago, when they repainted the sign. Now it's all clean looking. All the rust is gone, Bowman.
What? I don't like that. No.
You would think that this chili dog vendor opened yesterday.
Yeah, that's like why you have an old sign, is that it looks old. People know you've been there for a long time.
Yeah, so that was a bummer. I think it is still the original signage. Like, they didn't fully replace it, so that's good. I see a lot of people recently in LA replacing their really beautiful old vintage signs with just like real crummy plastic ones, and that's a bummer. So
yeah,
I guess I'll take the coat of paint, but I was bummed.
Yeah, I wonder if there was like an ordinance passed or something like that, because I know in my town you can't add signage or paint over existing signage like at all. Like, so I wonder if like, I don't, like maybe in LA you have to, like, they're making people take those old signs down for some reason. Maybe not. That probably would have been big news, but city councils come up with a lot of stupid shit that people have to do.
That does sound like a Burbank kind of thing to do. Burbank is very much like that, where, you can't skateboard in Burbank. You can't, probably can't chew gum in public, I'm guessing. It's a very restrictive place.
Sounds like a bummer. No wonder Sarah Palmer went so crazy. Living there, I guess, going to that grocery store there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. To the handy market.
Yeah.
Where she got all of her Bloody Mary mix.
Speaking of bloody things.
Okay.
Another movie I would love to live in. Groundhog Day ended up.
And it's going to be bloody.
Well, not really. It does take place on Halloween, so there'll be fake blood.
Okay.
Which can scare you like the real thing.
Oh, is it going to be that Don Coscarelli movie? What was that one?
Oh,
with the BMX bikes?
Yeah. Oh, it's not that one. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, you should have picked that one, though, right?
Yeah, that's a good movie. What is the name of that fucking movie? It's a good one nonetheless. I'll find it. But it's actually Ernest Scared Stupid.
Oh, man. You want to party with trolls now?
Yeah, well, I'd be partying with Ernest. I can't imagine a better dude to spend all of eternity with. I mean, this is a good guy. He's very friendly. He's funny. He's silly. And
nothing that he does will get old ever. I mean, you could experience all of those things that he does over and over again, and it would be like fresh and new every time, I'm sure.
Well, when I watch the movies, it's always fresh and new and fun still. So maybe not living it. But yeah, so like me and Ernest hanging out, rim shot, who looks like Gonzo, so I wouldn't even have to miss my dog that much. It would be Halloween for eternity, because that movie takes place on Halloween. So like, that's cool. And then, yeah, you would get to fight trolls. And I guess, in the movie, Ernest and the kids win against the trolls. But I suppose if you're doing that infinitely, statistically speaking, you would lose every once in a while, but no big deal once the sun came up or whatever. Like, time would reset. So you're just locked in this eternal battle of good versus evil against trolls. Like, that seems pretty fun, right? You get to come up with all kinds of cool new war strategies to beat the trolls every single night. Like, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun eventually. I'm guessing the very first time at least, and maybe even the first couple times, before you kind of fully know that you're going to be able to survive this and redo it over and over again, it's going to be kind of terrifying, right? You know,
That's
you
true.
would think these trolls look pretty ruthless, right?
That's true. They look very scary. They do get a couple of kids, turn them into wood. So that would be scary. Arthur Kitt's pretty scary too in that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, things would be scary, but once you get the hang of it, I think you'd have a lot of fun. Once you
Okay.
find out about the authentic Miak, I think then you'd be doing all right.
What's this now?
The Miak, it's that part in the movie where like Ernest is reading about how to stop the trolls, and the way to stop them is milk, but he thinks it's Miak, which is like some sort of jelly or something. I don't know. It's a funny joke from the movie. It's authentic Bulgarian Miak, I believe he gets to stop the trolls.
Interesting.
I guess we're gonna have to watch that movie.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it again. It's been a while. I remember all the like the weird goopy boogers and stuff coming out of these troll noses. I think that's what I remember most.
Yeah, there's also that. That part's gross. I guess I'd have to bring some of my masks, my leftover COVID masks, to make sure I don't get any snot and boogers on me.
Well, would you bring your leftover COVID mask together with me when I'm starring in Westworld? Because that's my pick.
Oh, the movie Westworld?
The movie Westworld, I've never seen the TV show. I'm kind of curious. I think some people liked it, right? Is that like a one season kind of a deal? Did you watch that?
I did. I only watched the first season, and it was like pretty good. It's not as good as the movie, but then I think I stopped watching it. But I think people pretty much unanimously agree that after season 1, it starts to suck pretty bad. But season 1's good. Like, if you're curious about it, you should check it out.
All right, maybe I will. Because, yeah, I mean, I just like the concept. And it's one of those things where I'm sure you could pick a number of action movies where you're being chased through the desert by Yul Brynner. Like, there's probably a dozen of those out there. But I just know in my heart, if I was in a Groundhog Day scenario and I'm going through this and I have to waste the bad guy at the end of the movie, shoot him dead, even if he was a really bad dude, there's going to be a little bit of twinge of guilt associated with that. I might be a bad dude myself, Bowman, but I'm not a murderer. And I can't believe that throughout the course of the first 30 minutes of the show, you've accused me of arson and murder. It's really wild stuff. So it would be fun to have like a robot who is threatening, who is a legitimate foe, who is, skilled at gunplay and all that, and stalking me through the desert. And at, the end of it, I feel no guilt for having wasted him.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. And then, like if you get really good at it, you could like even waste him like early in the day and then just go have like a fun vacation in Westworld too. Like,
it's really open ended. It's a good point. I'm sure I could figure out pretty quickly after a few cycles what this dumbass robot's patterns are like, and then just waste him first thing in the morning, and then go off, have breakfast, and then I don't know, go to the sex world half of the park or wherever. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going on at Westworld, so I hadn't even considered that, to be honest. I was just hyped to shoot guns at Yul Brynner.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, you could do that too. Like, I mean, if you get sick of just having a normal vacation, go back to fighting Yul Brynner, like, try to like, sleep until noon one day. And then so like maybe you don't know where he's at noon in the timeline due to his patterns. Like, so that kind of makes it fresh for you. I feel like you could come up with like fresh ways to play cat and mouse with this guy.
Yeah, like you said, there's other things to do. I mean, I could have picked Battle Royale, but I feel like, all right, I kill all these kids on the island, and now what? I'm stuck on this stupid island. What am I going to do? But in an old West town with blackjack games and loose women, the world's my oyster, boy.
That's true. And if you get sick of Westworld, you can just like hop on the tram and go to like that medieval world that's on the other side of the park.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's that. And isn't there something else too? There's a whole bunch of stuff over there, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah, I think there was a few. Yeah, that would be fun. All right. Well, I had a few like honorable mentions. I think Mad Max Part 2 would be pretty fun, constantly doing fun car chases against bad guys.
But it's very thirsty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. You would never get a good drink of water again for the rest of your life, I suppose.
You're going to go out to get a Diet Coke in that universe, never come back.
That's true. Yeah, so maybe that wouldn't be too fun. And then also I was thinking maybe like A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child.
Oh, no, wait. Unless you are Freddy Krueger, you don't want to live in any of these nightmare universes.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, it would be horrifying for like the first 2 years, or something like that. But after a while, sort of like with Yul Brynner, like after a while, like once you kind of figure Freddy out, I think you could it could become a fun game of cat and mouse. Or if it's just like too much to take, you can't take Freddy. You try in and day out. I mean, you could just stay up all night. Well, I guess maybe that wouldn't work. I don't know. This is a bad idea. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think you've just signed your own, death warrant here. And
yeah,
even if you do get used to it eventually, I think there's going to be like deep scars in your psyche. That's going to be traumatic.
Getting murdered every single night in new and horrific ways.
Yeah, and in ways that are specifically geared towards you and your own fears. If he's going to drown you in white goo over and over again. Are you prepared for that?
Yeah, you're right. I didn't think this one through. I just really like Freddy. I don't know. Maybe I was hoping that he would become my friend or something.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. Do you have any ones that...
Yeah. Well, speaking of baseball, I would throw out A League of Their Own. You know what? I mean, it's a interesting time in our baseball history, and with all the men off at the war, I feel like I got a good chance with one of these badass baseball pitches.
Yeah, that's a good point. So you would become like Madonna or something. You would be trapped in her body, somebody like that, Lori Petty.
I could be Dottie Hinson.
Which one's that?
She's the lead.
Gina Davis?
Yeah, Gina Davis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Or I could just be like, drunk ass manager.
Yeah. Nah, you want to be on the field though. You don't want to be Tom Hanks's character.
I could be though. I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah. Maybe if it's your Groundhog Day rules, maybe you're a different person each day. That could be fun.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, get to play all the positions. You know what? I've never played third base.
Yeah.
What's that like? The ball coming real quick down the line. I got to snap it over to first. I don't know if I can do that, but if I get all these iterations, I could probably get real good at all the positions.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's a good way to switch things up. You'd never get bored.
Yeah. By the end of this, I could maybe be a utility infielder for the Boston Red Sox.
Here comes the pizza.
A wooded area.
That's a good point. Well, all right. Those are some movies that we would like to live forever in. If you guys out there in Junk for Dinnerland have any movies like that, let us know by calling 347-746-JUNK. That's 347-746-5865. That is the voicemail line. Speaking of voicemails, we got a voicemail here. It's all queued up. I'm not totally sure who it's from, but you want to listen to it with me?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right, here it is.
Hi, guys. It's Dayton boy Nick, or Dayton grandpa Nick, whatever your perspective may be. Just wanted to drop a line saying I enjoyed this. I've been enjoying the show very much. Haven't called in a while. But I wanted to point out, and I don't mean to be a shill for Joe Bob Briggs, but he's having his annual drive-in festival, whatever he calls it, in Las Vegas again this year. It's October 4th and Fifth, and John Carpenter is going to be a guest. The three OG Scream Queens, Linnea and Michelle Bauer and Brink Stevens are going to be there. So I guess I'll be showing some of their movies. Also, one of the nights, Sven Gulli is a guest. I'm not a Sven Gulli guy, but he's going to be there doing God knows what. Anyway, it's a fun time. I was there last year, and I just wanted to point it out to you guys because I was hoping maybe you'd show up. I'm going to be there, and it'd be great to see you guys or whoever is listening to this. Let me know if you're going to be there. I'd love to hook up with some junk food dinner folk at the drive-in in Las Vegas. I think the name of the drive-in is Westwood, but I'm not positive. Anyway, it's a good time. I was there last year when Corman was there, and it was fun. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, Nick, for calling. And yeah, I would love to come out to this Joe Bob Jamboree. This is Nick, friend of the show, Nick Baldessari, by the way, star of Beyond Dream's Door and They Bite and other movies that we've talked about on the show. But yeah, I would love to come out to this Joe Bob thing. I missed it a couple of years ago. I think Nick was at that one too. They just showed, or maybe I just watched it. Maybe it didn't just get showed, but they showed that on the Joe Bob Last Drive-In show, like the one that was filmed there recently. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe I was watching, there's a full moon movie that was filmed there. I know I watched that recently and it was kind of fun. I don't know if they've showed the Joe Bob episode yet, or maybe I just haven't watched it. I don't know. I'm confused about Joe Bob, but I think this would be super fun. I sadly can't go because my boss is out of town for the entire month of October, the only month of the year I like doing stuff.
Well,
so
then he's a bastard.
Yeah, I'm going to be stuck in the office all during the Halloween season, pretty much. So that's a bummer, but I hope everybody else has fun. How about you, Sean Byron? How do you feel about Joe Bob? And drive-ins and drive-in events in Las Vegas where Joe Bob is?
I mean, I have an affection for all of those things, I guess. I haven't really watched any or much, or I guess actually any of the new drive-in show thing that Joe Bob does. You know, I watched Monster Vision when I was young. Read the books when I was young. And I love that he's out there still doing it. But I don't know, something changed in me where like I don't take in any film criticism anymore. Probably about 10 years ago or so, probably actually when I started doing this show, I was just like, well, this is enough. I'm talking about this with two or three other people every week. Like, why do I need some other idiot's perspective, some guy that I don't even know, even if it's, you know, not an idiot, even if it's somebody great like Joe Bob. But a drive-in event sounds fun. So who knows? It's early October, we're saying?
Yeah, I think it's like the 5th or 6th or 5th and 6th, or it's that first week in October.
Yeah, well, it's tempting. Is that West Wind Drive-In the one that you went to with Kevin, or that's a different one?
That is the one, I believe. Yeah, it's huge. It's like 7 screens or something like that. So, and I think at these jamborees, they show like whatever movie they're showing, they show them on all the screens, which is fun. So you're there with like hundreds of people all watching the same thing. That's kind of fun. And I think like Joe Bob does like little segments live, and I think they broadcast those on all the screens too if you're not close enough to be able to see him, and it seems pretty fun. And also it seems like Charles Band's just shooting movies like in the parking lot. So that's kind of cool.
The way
too.
to do it. I mean, if you're Charles Band, you need a full drive-in, like with fans that are willing to sign release forms. You know what I mean? Like that is a gold mine for that man.
That is true. It's a really like easy and effective way to get production value for like a schlocky full moon movie. Is to just be at a drive-in, like surrounded by people with Joe Bob shirts.
Yeah. Now, are we at all concerned that based on Roger Corman attending last year, that this festival might have a death curse? Like, will I be massacred at this drive-in?
That's very possible. That is possible. But I mean, it'd be worth it, you know? It's Joe Bob. If you're going to die anywhere, or because of any death curse, it might as well be because of Joe Bob's death curse.
Yeah. Can't disagree with that.
Yeah. Well, that's all the voicemails this week.
That's all the voicemails this week? Just one?
Just one voicemail.
Man, all of this buildup, our listeners waited 46 minutes or so to just get one measly voicemail. Is that enough for them? Don't we owe them more?
I think they would like to have more in the future. I mean, I think that's why people should call in.
I think you're right.
They can do so by calling 347-746-JUNK, 347-746-5865. Call in. It's the spooky season. Call in and let us know what you're up to. Are you going to go to Joe Bob?
Yeah. Convince us, especially Bowman. Convince Bowman that his job is not really worth holding on to if it's going to preclude him from October festivities.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. I was kind of eyeing that Universal this year.
Yeah, dude. We're supposed to do those Halloween horror nights.
I know. Well, she comes back on the 29th, so maybe we could do it Halloween weekend, but it'd be like crazy busy, I'm sure.
The boss is a woman?
Yeah.
Now I've heard everything.
It's very futuristic. I don't know. Maybe we can. I don't know. Hopefully, I get to do something. Maybe do it beforehand. Although it's already before. I don't know. Maybe I can come up with some kind of plan to do something.
Well, maybe I'll FaceTime you from inside the mazes.
Yeah. Or maybe I can get those pandemic era Corngorn segments from the organizers of the Corngorn, and we can just watch those on YouTube.
Oh, I like that.
Over FaceTime.
Speaking of FaceTime and telephones and technology, and I know that we're trying to wind this segment down and cut over into our review, and we will get there in due time, but I'm still freaked out by this podcast transcription feature. I
don't like it.
You don't like it?
I feel like I've said a lot of crazy stuff over the last 15 years. I don't want people to just be able to get that with SEO. That's horrifying to me.
It's very weird and wild. And yeah, I don't know if the transcripts are being stored anywhere, and are they being indexed, and are they searchable? I would presume yes. But yeah, so weird to upgrade my phone OS this morning and see that they had that new transcript feature, and to, listen back to a couple minutes of our last episode and see it being transcribed for me in front of my very own eyes. It's just so weird.
Yeah. I mean, what we use to record now, what we've been using for like the last year or two or whatever, it has a transcribe button. But I never use it. I mean, I'm always like tempted to, I guess, to like maybe throw it in the blog, some of it in the blog post just for SEO, but it's like, I don't know, that's tacky. It's kind of corny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's possible. It'd be nice, like, I don't know, maybe I should just start saving that like locally, because it would be nice to be like, oh, what was the episode where we talked about blah, blah, blah? Or like, what is the episode where Kevin talks about fighting Dracula? We should find that and then be able to find it. But
get a list of all the movies in which Sean compliments the wallpaper.
Yeah, but that would be like, I mean, you'd have to like save it all and then save it all into like one file that I'm sure after you copied and pasted everything, it would be like 7 terabytes or something.
Well, I guess we don't need to do it anymore now. Apple is doing it for us. So
yeah, that's true.
Thanks, question mark, Apple.
Yeah.
I'm sure that this is going to lead to a lawsuit, though, right? Like, somebody's going to be exploring other options on us now that they've got text proof of all the garbage cans we've thrown.
Could be. I mean, I imagine that maybe some podcasters might also sue, because, I mean, like if you have a podcast that's behind a paywall and Apple's like just kind of putting it out there, like maybe some people will take offense to that. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's not how it works, but like, I don't know. It does seem like you just like Apple's taking people's IP and just putting it out in a different form. Like, it does feel like it's not ethical, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a transformation of our creative work without our consent, at a minimum, Bowman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, maybe it's not meaningful to folks like us, but like if Apple's just like because I know like in the early days of podcasts, a lot of people would take the transcriptions of their podcasts and turn that into books for whatever reason. So now that Apple's doing that for free, I don't know. It just seems like kind of shady in some sort of a weird way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing like super illegal or whatever about it, but it seems shady. But
you're right. It really will cut into the Smodcast business model.
Yeah.
I'm just guessing that was one of the ones that got turned into a book. Seems like it would have been, right? The Smodcast.
100%. Yeah. I know. Yeah, Kevin Smith specifically did that at least a couple of times, but I think other people did too. Like I
think so. There's a comedy podcast I listened to that's been around forever. And in like the early days of podcasting, like before they kind of knew what even the medium was, they put out a greatest hits CD.
Yeah. There was a podcast in the super early days that I would listen to. It was a comedy podcast. And yeah, they had CDs like that.
Yeah.
Which is just wild. We should do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, listeners, call in and let us know your favorite moments from the past. I guess search all the transcriptions to find those moments, and we'll put out that CD together.
Yeah. That's kind of a corny thing to do back in like 2011, but it would be funny in retro now. So we should get on that.
Let's get those submissions going so that it's longer than just a CD single.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, I refuse to use one of those business card size CDs for our greatest hits. You know, I think that's rude and mean to us.
I agree. Actually, we could probably just burn all of the drops that we have. In the Google Drive onto a CD. That would be a pretty good greatest hits album.
If we got time for it, squeeze in the Kyle from Kentucky theme.
Yeah. And we did those episodes a few years ago that were all of the Kyle and Memphis Maniac and Sweetman calls. Just put those on a CD. That's really all you need. You don't even need us.
Was it really all of the Sweetman calls? Was that how that episode shook out?
No, that's not how it went. I screwed that one up. I tried to do like a funny meta subversive thing that sucked.
What are you, a comedian?
I fucked up. My bad.
Well, I forgive you. And on that note, on a note of forgiveness, I think we will take a quick break, and then we will come back to discuss yet again another journey to the center of the earth. This time, the 1999 edition. So stick around.
With one simple request.
Casper, my husband, has been missing for 7 years, and I would like you to find him.
Madam, I'm a scientist, not a detective.
Professor Theodore Litton and his nephew Jonas left their world behind.
There's an old Maori legend about that volcano, a passage deep into the earth.
To search for a place they could only imagine.
Where are you headed?
We want to join our expedition.
You need me, Professor.
This is an extraordinary opportunity to witness firsthand the genesis of this planet.
Filled with dangers they never knew.
We descend a distance of nearly 2 miles. The heat is increasing and our supply of water is dwindling.
Jonas, look out!
in an ancient land below the surface.
They say that the husband met up with the monsters in the earth.
Now he's dead, and we'll never get back to the surface, not in a million years.
I saw something. She wants us to follow her.
We have to go find her.
The Caucasian primates.
Down here, they kept on evolving.
How do you know English?
The schoolmaster.
Schoolmaster.
Then tell me this, Mr. Linton. What the hell have you done with my wife?
Now, forces will collide.
The Sauroids and these humans were continually at war until I came along.
Theodore!
You've shattered a truce that took me years to achieve.
Gasper.
Whatever happened between you two is completely over.
What is it?
Magic.
Will go down in medical history.
Making war is a dark art, Professor.
As the mission becomes an adventure in the journey to the center of the Earth. Jeremy London, Treat Williams, Brian Brown, Tushka Bergen, Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Welcome back to Junk Food Supper, and the movie this week on the show is Journey to the Center of the Earth from 1999. This is a made-for-television experience that aired in two parts on September 14th and 15th of 1999. Happy 25th anniversary, by the way, right?
I guess so, yeah.
And this was produced by Hallmark Entertainment, who I think we'll talk about a little bit more later. It was shot largely in New Zealand and also Australia, as I think you can probably tell from some of the accents on display in this thing. And in a lot of ways, it kind of serves as a blueprint for Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, making a classic fantasy novel as an epic film in New Zealand. And I think it actually aired just a couple weeks before they started shooting Fellowship. That can't be a coincidence, right?
Xena and Hercules shot down there, so I think that those are probably what set the template for this.
Okay,
maybe?
But this may be the missing link that gets us to Mordor,
It could be.
Actually, if you look on IMDb and do that collaborations search, there are, I think, a half dozen people in very minor roles, behind the camera that overlap between Fellowship and this, guys like stuntmen and things like this. But it's also a full 3 hours long, I should mention. So I guess that's another similarity that this has with the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies. It's long. But let's just dive right into what this version of the story offers us. I think this is our probably 28th installment of this never-ending series. But this is a pretty unique one, I think. The opening credits for this are basically just a Windows 95 screensaver, which is fun, right?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
And then we transition directly into a dreamy shot of Treat Williams looking real dreamy, kind of looking like Colin Farrell, to be honest. And then we cut to a wider shot where we see what Treat is up to. Turns out he's a bare-knuckle boxer in a makeshift ring in 1870s Boston, of all places. He's going to be our Professor Lindenbrock for this installment of the story, although for some reason he's called Professor Lighton in this one, or Litton. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's got his nephew Jeremy London as his corner man, who's going to be his assistant on this journey, and an opponent in the ring who looks a lot like a low-budget Harley Race, who doesn't factor into the story ever again. But
I thought that it was Harley Race for a while. And then they show his face clearly near the end of his scene, and I was
That's
like, "Oh
too
no,
young,
that can't be him."
A dead ringer for a young Harley. But I thought that scene was kind of cool. This opening boxing scene is fairly cinematic. There's a lot of extras. There in the crowd, rooting for one or other of the boxers, and kind of a cool looking location. A lot of period costumes, and I'm like, all right, this is kind of a cool way to start this off.
Yeah, this really sets up a lot of stuff that is not capitalized on or built upon whatsoever. Like Treat being a professor that can also fight, seems like an interesting way to go about this character that's been 100% professor in all the other versions we've watched. And yet he doesn't really fight too much the rest of the way.
He does some bare-knuckle boxing with the Gorns later that we'll talk about.
A little bit, yeah. Like there's one scene like near the very end where somebody's getting taken by the Gorns, and he's like, "I'll go back and save him." And you're like, "Okay, he's gonna go and bare-knuckle-box like 6 Gorns and save this guy." But he gets like halfway to where the guy is, and then just like goes, he's too far gone. I'll turn back.
Yeah.
So like, I thought that was gonna be like the big payoff to this fighting thing, but and then Jeremy London, like, or like Treat is like, "Hey, Jeremy London, like, I think I'm gonna win. Go ahead and like bet on me. Get a bet going because I'm gonna win. I think I can take this guy." And so you also get the idea that maybe like Jeremy London's like a kind of a con man grifter sort of a guy from this, and then that also never is
it turns out
capitalized
Jeremy
or built
London
upon.
has no character traits.
That is absolutely true.
As is honestly probably true in every role that he's played, I'm guessing.
That's yeah. I can never tell the difference between Jeremy and Jason London, but so I don't know which one this is. If
this is Mallrats,
I mean, if he was in, okay, this is Mallrats. I was just gonna say, if he was in Dazed and Confused, he's sometimes pretty good, but if he's in Mallrats, he's so.
Yeah, I think Party of Five, maybe, is that his other credit? Some TV show around that time period.
Oh, that's interesting. That the worse London actually had the better career because of Party of Five, it seems like. But yeah, I don't know. They're hard to tell apart, but yeah, he's bad in this. His character is bad in this. His character doesn't really have a character.
But I do like Treat's character. I mean, I think they basically kind of just do like an Indiana Jones with him, where they're like, okay, let's have a swashbuckling professor. And yeah, I mean, he's not as swashbuckling as Indiana Jones, but who could be, you know?
Well, that's true.
But they pretty quickly exit this boxing arena and make their way over to one of the hallmark scenes of this kind of series, which is the professor giving a lecture to a group of skeptical critics, you know, where in this one, he's trying to prove his theory of Pangea, you know, that all the continents were aligned, and everybody in Boston is just laughing at him. And so he's going to deal with that embarrassment. And by the way, I'm not sure why you would set this in Boston if nobody in this is even going to have one of those disgusting accents, you know, and very few people even mention their thoughts on Tom Brady in this, you know?
Yeah, that's true. No one tells them that they've got to go park the car or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Despite, you know, this scene presumably being set right outside of Harvard Yard, you know? But it's around this point that our homeboy Treat Williams meets a rich lady named Alice Hastings, whose husband has disappeared into a hole in the ground in New Zealand. I guess he was on some foolish quest for gold at the center of the planet. But she's got more money than Treat's been making on his bare-knuckle brawls. And so, you know, and because he's also been wanting to check out the center of the earth, it's pretty easy for the two of them to come to an agreement that they will go down there together. So they do that. And on the way, they bump into a surly, tough guy named McNiff, who joins their crew as hired muscle. And after a brief run-in with the natives, we are underground at the 40-minute mark. And given the runtime, that's not too bad for us to get underground by 40 minutes. But about those scenes with the natives, they are a little bit wild. You know, it's since they're going to New Zealand, they have to run afoul of these Maori people, and the way that they portray the Maori in this is just pretty ridiculous. You know, they're really portrayed as like savage, inhumane animals, basically. They do like kind of justifying it by saying that the white man stole their land. And so these guys are just doing cannibalism against all Europeans, you know, for good reasons. You know, you can't fault them for being savage cannibals, but it is still kind of jacked up the way. I mean, if this was made in the 1970s, it might have been charming the way that they portray these natives. But I think by 99, they maybe should have known better, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they, like you said, they do kind of try to justify it, but it. You know, I think it gets a little bit weirder later. You to spoil this a little bit, they get to the center of the earth and they find natives there, and the natives are all like Caucasian folks.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, I feel like they were trying to be progressive with that by not portraying more natives as like people of color who are cannibals, but at the same time, they are enabling having a cast that is all white at the same time. So it's sort of like, well, I don't know, which is worse, I guess. It's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, well, and I think there's maybe a specific reason why they avoided people of color in those scenes. And I'll get to that in a minute, because I got a lot of thoughts on those scenes. But we get to the cave, we're starting to head underground. And overall, I like this underground that we get in this movie. It's really weird looking. All of the wide shots have this really bad compositing of the actors into fake environments in a way that it strongly suggests that you're playing like a PC game from the mid to late 90s, like Wing Commander 3 or something like this, Just very fake looking.
It is very fake looking. I did want to go back to the guy who joins them.
Oh, McNiff.
Yeah, McNiff, because he joins for basically this, like, just the most vague reasons, like, in keeping in tradition that none of these characters have any characterization. Like, they meet this guy and he's just like, hey, it's dangerous. I should probably come with you. And then he just goes with them. Like that's it.
Never met before. You guys are from different cultures. But yeah, let's link up.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. But
and he's not like, I think in some movies that might make sense, like in the earlier installments where it's like some kind of like simple Norwegian man or something, who maybe seems like just kind of a sweet guy who is there to help. But this McNiff guy, he looks like a pirate. He's like a huge man with a big beard and weird tattoos. Doesn't look friendly. But I guess he's just down to help,
Yeah. Yeah, you get the impression that he's there, like, explicitly exploiting, like, the land and the people there. Like, they never really say it, but he does seem like a bad dude in a lot of respects. Like,
well, but I maybe when we learn of his ultimate fate, it might make sense what his intent was. Presuming that he knew that he would get those spoils that he enjoys, and we'll get there in a minute. But
yeah,
if he knew what would happen, maybe this was all part of his plan.
Could be. But yeah, they get underground, and it does look cool in a lot of spots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it looks cool. They're doing their journey thing for a bit. Basically the same things we've seen. They're running into giant scorpions that look absolutely batso. Mm-hmm. But then I think things start to take a turn for the weird right around the giant underground sea moment. And, this is one of those scenes that I think we've seen in pretty much all of the installments that we've chronicled so far. At one point they come upon this giant underground sea. Everybody's taken aback. Oh, wow, this cool sea. And isn't it weird that for some super bogus pseudoscientific reason there's sunlight here above the sea? Isn't that cool? And they're talking about that. And I always loved that. And it was just kind of cool to see it again and be like, oh yeah, we're back at the underground sea. But this version in this movie is like, again, so weird looking and fake looking. And it kind of looks like that movie, What Dreams May Come, where like it seems like the editor at this point in the movie just like flipped a switch on his Amiga video toaster where all the colors got flipped. And they shift like green to blue and they shift red to white and everything's all weird and shifted. And then I think he just left his finger on that button for the rest of the movie.
I think so, yeah.
It's pretty wild looking. It's around this point that they encounter a crazy-looking, huge dinosaur, whom they kill with a single bullet from a weak-ass 1800s handgun.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Handguns back in these days didn't even kill dudes at 20 paces.
A handgun couldn't even kill Lincoln. We needed like a doctor to do that.
Yeah, so the fact that this guy from Yeah, however far away, just plants one right between the eyes of this giant dinosaur that shrinks in size when it dies. Like when it's in the background and it gets shot, it's huge, and then when it dies and it's in the foreground, it's tiny.
I mean, the aim is one thing. I'll give the guy the aim. Maybe McNiff is he's a expert level marksman, the likes of which we've never seen. But I just don't believe that bullet even penetrating the flesh of this huge dinosaur, let alone its skull.
I absolutely agree. And it's also like shot in a very non-menacing way. Like you just kind of get like this flash animation dinosaur in the background, and then Treat Williams is like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you shoot this dinosaur?" And he's like, "I would be glad to."
Yeah.
And then he does, and it's over. Like they don't even try to milk this for any excitement whatsoever.
I do think the shot after they kill the dinosaur of Treat Williams walking up to the dinosaur corpse, and it's like the perspective is so off that it looks like it looks like a kindergartner, did a rendering of this scene in crayon or something. Like just nothing lines up. It's all bizarre looking. That's a moment, man. If nothing else, like you got to experience that. I think you should treasure that. I think we can all say we experienced that. That was something that we saw. Share it with your friends. Tell them, hey, I was there. I saw this. And that hopefully they'll share it too.
That is, if you watch this, that will be one of the 3 or 4 times that you look up from your phone to
come on,
see what's going on.
Well, I think it's also around this time that McNiff, our hired muscle, proposes a Russian nesting doll theory of infinite caves that I thought was actually pretty deep for a guy like that. Concept doesn't really go anywhere. They don't really explore it, but it was interesting to hear him pontificate on it. But before you know it, we're being chased through a neon blue forest by a bunch of gorns in rubber lizard man suits. You like these gorns?
I love these gorns. These gorns show up like right around the end of part 1. And they're great. Like all the money from this production went into these gorns. Like they look really good. They have like lizard legs. Like
yeah. Like at a weird angle. There's like 2 knee joints basically.
Yeah, it's like the kind of legs that Balzac, the Jaws of Death of Guar has, were like, I don't even know how they work. They're like bent at an angle. So like, yeah, they go back at the knee. They look like the velociraptors from Jurassic Park, but it's dudes inside. So it's, I don't know, you're like the whole time you're wondering like how the fuck did their legs fit in there? But it looks really cool.
I think they blue screened out their legs basically, because there's no way that a human could bend their leg in 2 directions like that,
Yeah, I think you're right that they probably did since this is TV, but I think that there is a way to kind of finagle that. Because like I said, Balzac has those, but I think his legs are really tall. So I think that like that's what it is. His are like kind of like stilts. And these guys are really short. So I don't think that they can do that. Unless they're being played by like little people in there, maybe. I don't
know. With stilts.
Maybe. Or something like I don't know what they're doing, but it's impressive. And then their faces are impressive too, because their eyeballs are moving all around and they have like these cool facial expressions. So every drop of money and talent involved in this production went into these costumes.
Yeah, they got those cool teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Very pointy, these teeth. I like them. And they're chasing our heroes through this neon blue forest, and they chase them right into the hands of actor Brian Brown, who I knew as Tom Cruise's Australian sidekick in the movie Cocktail, where they were pouring, margaritas down in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in this, he's playing that missing husband of Alice Hastings, the aforementioned missing husband, who has presumably just been chilling out here in the underground for years.
Well, this throws a monkey wrench into everything, because Treat Williams and the lady, they start to gain romantic entanglements on the way down here to find this guy. She assumes that he's dead, but then they find him alive. So now it's a big love triangle.
He's very much alive. He's very much wearing a very silly jacket that he's made out of bird feathers. And he's also very much started a serious sex cult with a bunch of cave slave women. And that's been his main thing down here. So it's very complicated for everybody involved. These cave slave women play a surprisingly big role in this third act of the movie, where there's, all these shots of these horny sex slave girls dancing in front of dinosaur skulls being barbecued over open flame. And suddenly it just feels like a completely different movie for the second half. It's very strange. The aforementioned Gorns captured that Alice woman in the chase before. I guess I should have mentioned that. I forgot to mention it, but it is true. She gets captured. So then the third act of this is basically this weird push and pull between, the heroes wanting to rescue Alice, but also her deadbeat husband not wanting her to learn about the sex cult that he's been running at the center of the earth. Not wanting to reveal his polygamous tendencies to her. Meanwhile, as you mentioned, Treat Williams is falling for Alice. And old Jeremy London is definitely falling hard for the very first sex slave he sees down there in the caves, which, not to spoil it, but it leads to a moment at the end of the movie where it seriously seems like his character might have cave AIDS.
I think that's what happens to him. Yeah.
Right? Is that what happened? I'm pretty sure he picks up some sort of, cave-based STD, right? He's all clammy. Yeah. He's white-faced as a ghost.
I think so. Yeah. The cave AIDS is how his fiance finds out that he was doing some intermingling in the cave on the side, and rather than deal with that, he just gets up out of bed and goes back underground.
Yeah.
That's how the whole thing ends. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. And so, I guess we're kind of fast forwarding a little bit, but there's all this sexual intrigue, as you would imagine. Alice gets rescued from the Gorns. There's a great fist fight that we all loved. McNiff decides that he's got a boner for these slave girls as well. So he's like, fuck you guys. You can go back up to the surface. I'm staying down here. Which, I mean, considering, he was the guy that guided them down there, it's a little rude to be like, you guys find your way back out. You know what I mean?
That is true, yeah. But I mean, at this point, they can probably find their way back. I
don't know. I'm not trying to be a bad wingman here, but I just think McNiff has a responsibility. At least take them, to the threshold, and then you can head back down into the cave yourself.
I think that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. I did want to point out that, we get the love triangle with Treat Williams and his lady and the not dead husband. And the only other thing that they could think of to do with Jeremy or Jason London is to also put him in a love triangle. They just had no ideas at all.
Yeah, but one that is kind of barely explored, where his fiance back home is not really even properly set up initially, and then
did they even introduce her at the beginning of the movie?
They do. She shows up and says goodbye to him, but just very briefly.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't remember that. So when he tells her that he has a fiance, I was like, are we all just learning this right now? That's quite a twist, I guess.
Very nearly. And then, his love affair with this slave woman is instantaneous. It's completely unprovoked by anything other than the fact that she's wearing, a loincloth or whatever. It's all very strange.
So how does this love cult work? I think she explains at one point that if you're two guys in a relationship, that you have to be monogamous, or that you're expected to be monogamous, or if you're two girls in a relationship, you're monogamous. But if you're a guy and a girl, or a girl and a guy, then there's no monogamy going on whatsoever. Is that how it works?
It sounds right, but I don't know. I wasn't really I was not planning to join this sex cult, so I didn't take full inventory of all the rules and regulations.
Well, I just, I always like to know the rules of the polycule.
Sure,
if there is one.
You got to respect these rules of engagement, otherwise, you might be sleeping with the wrong sex slave, and that's not what you would want to happen.
True. It's how you get cave aids.
Absolutely. But it's a wild movie. I don't know. Like the first half of this is pretty boring, especially if you've seen 100 of these already. But then once it starts deviating so hard that I think it is interesting. And it's kind of weird that we've seen so many of these now that deviate specifically in terms of like trying to establish like an underground society, because that's not at all in the original book. Like in the original book, dudes go down there, they bump into like a brontosaurus or whatever now and again, but they don't run into any humans at all in the book Underground. But it seems like the last few movies have been really fixated on building these elaborate underground societies for our characters to stumble into, which I'm into. I mean, honestly, I hope that these movies are as different from one another as is possible, because we will be reviewing all of them on the show, and I don't want us to be too bored by them. And I just never expected this version, especially like the Hallmark Entertainment version made for TV, that this is going to be the one that fixates on a sex cult for 90 minutes. I mean, that is a surprise, right?
That is a good point. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I assumed that they wanted this to be a pilot, or that this was a pilot, and that if it was successful, it would have created a series. Like, because it seems like that's kind of the cliffhangers. Like Jeremy London goes back, and then if this would have got picked up with episode 3, Treat would have been like, "Oh, he went back. We got to go save him," or whatever. Like,
yeah, Treat would have been like, "Oh, cool. You're signing me for series. Now I can eat."
Yeah. So I guess they had to have people down there. Otherwise, it'd be a pretty boring series. But yeah, it's a little bit weird that they're strange native polyamorous sex cults down there. And little else. I guess just the Gorns. I guess they were just doing like Land of the Lost? Like that's basically the
kind of Sleestack-ish.
Yeah. They could have introduced some more stuff down there. But I mean, I guess they would have in time. But
yeah. I'm sure there was a King Kong that they could have borrowed from Italy or something.
Yeah. I guess there's more stuff to explore. But yeah, this is, I mean, maybe not one of the weirder ones, because the Albert Pune ones are pretty weird. But it's not, outside of that, it's definitely the weirdest, for sure.
Did you enjoy your time watching this? Would you venture to say?
No, not at all. This is like, we've seen ones that were made with less talent, and we've seen ones that had like less production value, and we've seen ones that were more boring. But this one is like just definitely the least ambitious. Like nobody here really cares at all. You can see in the performances.
Yeah. They're pretty bad on screen.
Yeah, Treat Williams and Jason London are just sleepwalking through this. And this was like one of like 10 million of these shows that were coming out like in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, that were like just these syndicated shows that would come on at like 2 a.m. on like UPN or USA or something, like Cleopatra 2525 and Beastmaster and like the Crow TV show, just like all these syndicated shows like this. Relic Hunter with Tia Carrere. So this is just kind of jumping on that bandwagon that I think Xena and Hercules probably started. So like there's not even, it's like you could tell somebody at Hallmark was just like, what's public domain? What property can we take and try to jump on this with? And this is the one that they picked. It just really comes across that nobody here cares.
Well, but I think there's one notable exception. You must have been charmed by the performance of Brian Brown, right?
No.
The sex-obsessed cave maniac?
I mean,
And oh, by the way, we didn't even
are-
talk about like the fact that he's a huge stoner. That like there's a huge subplot in this about this underground cave weed that everybody's getting high on while they're fucking each other. And he's got a plan to smuggle the cave weed back up to the surface and get rich off of it. And so he's like going on these like, you know, missions to steal cave weeds from rival tribes. And it's like a Iran Contra type sort of thing. You know, there's all this crazy gunfire being hurled at him. You didn't get into that stuff?
That stuff was all right. I thought it was tragic. He takes the cave weed back up to the surface, or not him, but they do. And it can't survive on the surface. So it like dies instantly. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. But they'll always have their memories of getting super blazed in that cave. And they're burning that field and everybody around's getting blazed.
Yeah. I do like that he likes that cave weed, but he is also a cuckold. I mean, Treat Williams does steal his woman and make out with her. So I can't respect him for that.
Okay. Well, fair. You've got your limits, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. This is, and I mean, at 3 hours, like, I mean, this story is like, we've seen it. I mean, this is like the 8th or 9th time we've watched it in the last year, this story. And I mean, I guess they do add a lot of stuff. So it's not like we're just watching the same exact thing stretched out over 3 hours, but like the first half of this is definitely well-worn territory. So for them to stretch that part out to 90 minutes, like real, you know, that wears you down, or wore me down going into the last half.
Did you watch this all together as one chunk?
No, I watched it over the course of like 5 nights or something.
Dude, come on. That's not how you watch them. And people are supposed to take you seriously as a film critic? You think Joe Bob is watching movies over the course of multiple nights?
Well, when this first aired, I imagine they probably showed it on multiple nights.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
And that's how I watched it. I watched 90 minutes the first night. The next night, I was raring to go for another 90 minutes.
All right, well, I think I watched him in 45-minute chunks over the course of a couple nights. Something like that. I think it was maybe an hour the first night and then a half hour. It was something, but it was over like 3 or 4 nights. This is very boring. You know,
no wonder you couldn't remember the introduction of Jeremy London's fiance. By the time you got to the end of this, you couldn't remember anything that happened.
Well, that's a good point.
I thought it was fun, though. I mean, I agree with you. The first half, very boring. In fact, if you are going to watch this, I would say just skip it. Just start at 90 minutes in, or maybe start like 80 minutes in or something like that. You want to get like a little bit of the lead up. Start in that blue forest when the gorns are chasing our heroes through the blue forest. And I think you'll have fun with the rest of this movie. I watched that first half totally alone, which made it even more boring, but I was lucky enough to be joined by my wife for the second half. And I think that this is, in the second half, a very fun movie to goof on, with a friend or your husband or wife or whoever you want to goof on this movie with. I think it's very fun. I don't know. Like there's all these scenarios like late in the movie where like very tragic things happen and then people are just immediately cool with it. Jeremy London falls in love with this slave girl. They get separated in the cave in a way that's like pretty traumatic, like a avalanche happens and the rocks fall and they get separated forever, having just been deeply in love seemingly. And within 3 seconds, they're both like, oh, okay, fine. Like she just walks back down to her village, I think with a smile on her face, honestly. And then he might be in the grips of cave AIDS by that point. So maybe I can't judge his reaction too harshly, but doesn't seem to care. But me and my wife were laughing about it,
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. Like, especially like near the end when they're like escaping and characters are joining in, leaving their party very quickly. Like, yeah, they don't seem to care too much.
Yeah. So I don't want to oversell this, but because it's not a good movie. It's certainly not a good movie. Most of the things that I like about it are the result of them failing to achieve their goals. especially in the area of the special effects. But I think it's pretty fucking unique. I mean, there's not that many adaptations of classic fantasy novels that have this many fistfights with actual gorns that are just straight up gorns. And very few of those feature sexual politics this crazy. So, yeah, I was into this,
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did want to, before we talk about what's coming next week, I did want to sidebar real quick about Hallmark Entertainment.
Okay.
Because I thought it was kind of fascinating. Even if this is not super high budget, clearly it's not a super high budget production. It is just kind of weird to think that this was a time where you could justify all of this effort, all of this time and money being spent on something that was intended to air just once on the Hallmark Channel. And I guess that TV advertising was that lucrative back then that you could expect that by airing this thing once on the Hallmark Channel, that would somehow garner enough advertising revenue to pay for the whole thing. And presumably it worked, because Hallmark made a whole ton of these movies, both, for their own channel and for other channels. And I thought it would be interesting to look real quick at the list of Hallmark Entertainment productions on Letterboxd. I've got it in front of me. They list 245 different productions from this company. And I was wondering if you could guess where this ranks popularity-wise out of the 245 Hallmark Entertainment pictures on Letterboxd. Where does this rank?
I would say somewhere around the middle.
You're looking at what? In the 120s then, I guess? 122 and a half is your official guess?
That's my guess, yeah. Somewhere in the 120s. I think they like, I'm sure they probably had some hits, which probably paid for all the rest of them. So yeah, they must have had a good chunk that were more popular than this, because I have no memory of this.
Well, I will give you 3 examples that were more popular than this. The most popular Hallmark Entertainment release was 1998's Merlin, starring Sam Neill. You remember that?
Oh, vaguely. I have a vague memory of that, yeah.
Yeah, well, they were behind that one, so kudos to them. That was their most successful. A couple of other interesting ones were 1998's Rear Window with Christopher Reeve that aired on ABC. That was produced by these guys.
I've seen that. It's very bad.
I would imagine so. I've always been curious about that. And that Children of Dune series that was on the Sci-Fi Channel in 2003, also produced by Hallmark. So...
Okay, so they were producing things for other channels, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. But this one, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, came in at a respectable number 50 out of 245. So,
okay.
I would say it's relatively well liked in their output.
Okay, yeah, it looks like they also did Alice in Wonderland in 1999. I remember that.
Yeah.
The Odyssey, starring Armand Assante. I remember that. I've seen that. The Ted Danson Gulliver's Travels. So yeah, there's some hits. Oh, they did Under Wraps, which is a mummy movie I've been wanting to do on the show for fucking ever.
Oh yeah, that's on my watch list.
Yeah, that's a movie where a little kid finds a mummy, and it stars Corinne Bohrer from Joysticks.
Yeah, it's got kind of like My Boyfriend's Back kind of vibes, or kind of Idle Hands vibes, maybe.
Yeah, like kind of like My Pet Monster or something like that.
Yeah, who knows? Like if any of these other Hallmark releases feature these kinds of special effects, the kind that probably could have only been associated with a movie released in, 1998 through 99, I'm down, because I think it's such a distinct, weird look, this kind of like very early CG. And I think this was maybe even shot on film. Maybe, or at least not film, but at least like very high-end video where it looks good and bad at the same time in a way that I just can't explain. But I'd be down to see more of these, I think.
I actually agree with you. Looking through this list, Hallmark produced that Tornado movie we just did a couple of weeks ago. And that's what I liked about that movie, is that it was both good and bad looking. It was like cheap and expensive looking at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we agree. The Hallmark Entertainment, purveyor of fine films.
Yeah, let's keep on keeping on. Let's do some more of these, actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, though, we got something to talk about.
Very
next
nice.
week. Would you like to know what we're going to be doing next week, Sean?
I would love to know. Because currently I don't know. Oh, no.
Old versions of Siskel and Ebert are shitting on the movies.
Am I going to get beaten by the ghouls?
You know, the ghouls are horrible.
Well, I didn't mean it like
The
that.
ghouls are really ugly. I'm like, oh, you're ugly.
Every single
So it's going to be Ghoul Summer. We've got traditions around here.
They need
Super crummy.
A lot of these
I think you're really going to like what's in store for you. How do you feel about Ghoul Summer?
I don't want it
in general.
That's how the ghouls control the world. The ghouls.
Well, it's something we're going to have.
The ghouls.
I thought long and hard about what kind of Ghoul Summer we're going to have.
I'm too old for this.
No, I think you're at the right age for this kind of thing. I mean, it's tradition.
No.
All right, well, I'll cut to the chase then.
Okay, let's cut to the chase because I'm over here. I'm on pins and needles as if I were in a Ghoul Summer movie. You know, on literal pins and needles. That's what I've subjected myself to that.
Yeah, you're right. You feel trapped. I understand that. You're living in a whole country that is ghoulish right now.
That's true.
So we've talked about this director before with one of their movies that we did a long time ago for Ghoul Summer. So we liked it so much, I figured we'd do another one of their movies. That director is Lucifer Valentine. Do you remember what movie they did?
No, I don't remember what Lucifer Valentine did. I'm sure it's got plenty of puke and pee, and maybe it's got spider play. Maybe somebody snorts rocks and vomits blood from their eyeballs in this.
You're precisely right. Lucifer Valentine's the esteemed, highly acclaimed director of Slaughtered Vomit Dolls, which we did on the show many years ago. Actually, 9 years ago now. This is a movie called Regurgitated Sacrifice.
Oh.
The gore is in capital letters.
Oh.
In this movie, I'll read you the synopsis. Guided by identical twin demon spirits, the Black Angels of Hell, we see the diabolical depiction of the alternate parallel dimension of the simultaneous suicide deaths of Kurt Cobain and bulimic porn star Angela Aberdeen.
What the fuck?
As seen through the mental activity of Angela's journey toward brain death as a result of her self-inflicted death by drowning. So that's what we're going to be watching next week.
Son of a bitch.
It's Ghoul Summer. It's a wonderful tradition that we both love and enjoy.
I can't imagine what I did to deserve this. I can't even imagine.
You can't imagine the 9 identical movies that we've talked about in the last 9 months.
I picked a fun family film from one of our favorite studios, Hallmark Entertainment. You know that you and I are both big fans.
That is actually true. There is actually a lot of movies on that list that I'm interested in seeing.
I was shocked because my image of it was just like, oh, it's going to be all like Lifetime shit that I don't care about. And then you click on the list and you're like, actually, there's some fun looking titles on here. I'm sure if I actually watch any of them, they're all terrible. But, in terms of like posters, they look decent.
Yeah. There's actually some other Jules Verne stuff like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and stuff like that I would want to watch.
No, we can't do those. That's deviating much too far from the stated mission.
Only the one Jules Verne can be done on the show.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why we're doing Ghoul Summer this week. So.
Oh, I get it now. I understand. Okay. It's a revenge thing.
I don't want to say it's revenge. I would like to say that it's more about tradition. I'm a very traditional person.
Okay. And you're not concerned at all that this sort of one-upsmanship might create a sort of nuclear standoff where before you know it, I'm picking Jacques Tati films on the show?
Well, I would hope not, because it looks like Lucifer Valentine has 13 movies.
Oh my goodness!
So I would hope, I would hope that you would understand that my nuclear arsenal is bigger than yours, Sean.
Hey, buddy, what are you, some sort of pervert?
And there's also an original version of Funny Games you haven't seen yet. I should just also point that out. So hopefully after this week we can go back to watching good movies. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, it's like that then. Okay, all right, I see. Okay, all right.
I'm just hoping to watch some good movies.
Okay, all right. Well,
after Ghoul Summer.
Try not to spend the entire Ghoul Summer movie, staring at your phone, because I feel like that probably is a cheat, right?
For Ghoul Summer, certainly it is. That is a cheat.
I will be FaceTiming with you to make sure.
I think that's for the best. I'll actually just come over. We'll just watch it together.
By the way, one of these days I am going to actually FaceTime somebody, and then it won't just be, a false promise. I'm going to learn how to click that FaceTime button. I'm going to figure out the appropriate use case where it doesn't seem ludicrous. I'm going to do it.
I think that's a good call. I FaceTime sometimes.
No, you don't.
With my brother every once in a while.
Oh, no. After all these years where we've jested and joked and japed about FaceTime, and now suddenly you're claiming that you actually use it.
I've done it once or twice, like on Christmas. Like
You've
if I
done it
want to wave
ironically, you mean, as a goof.
It's a little bit as a goof. Like if I want to wave to my brother's kids or something, I'll do it. Only a couple of times. I don't care for it. It's kind of silly.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to tell me. I already saw the transcripts on my phone of those FaceTime chats that you had with your family. That's the risk here, Apple. Don't put our podcast transcripts online. They're going to leak to other people who shouldn't hear it, People who are not even subscribed to this fine podcast.
That's true. I actually, in light of the fact that we're being transcribed, I really picked a terrible film to kick off the transcription era of the show. But
I wonder, is there anything that we can say here on the podcast? Like, can I just say, I am Sean Byron and I do not consent to Apple transcribing my podcast? If I say it like that, like in an official tone, does that do anything? Can you check the transcript? Listener, did that do anything?
Yeah, let's check and find out. What if we say something like this? I like it a great deal. I wonder if that'll help anything. But, I guess it depends on who's over there working at Apple. I don't know who works there. Maybe they'll help us out.
I'm not like the biggest Power Rangers guy.
All right.
I wonder, is there anything I could say that would trigger some sort of technical exploit of, maybe some security flaw in Apple's transcription software? Can I speak a buffer overflow into the microphone? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it used to be, I don't know how true this is. I would always see this in I used to get these comics that were coast to coast AM type topics in comic book form. And one of them, I had these when I was 8 years old or something. One of them said that if you were to say the phrase violent overthrow of the government on a telephone, that the CIA would automatically start recording you. So maybe if we just constantly talk about violent overthrows of the government, then Apple will stop transcribing us. Or maybe we'll just get arrested. One of the two.
You know what? It's a risk I'm willing to take if it means it might prevent Apple from transcribing me, because if nothing else, it's embarrassing to see my own dumb words in print. That's not what I got into this podcast game for.
Yeah.
I thought we were all just speaking into a void where it didn't matter what we said and nobody would ever remember what we said,
I'm upset about the fact that old episodes exist. I wish that these episodes would come out, they'd stay out for 1 week, and then they'd disappear into nothingness. I think that's the best way to do a podcast.
You know what? I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
Well, hopefully that's the way it'll be next week when we talk about some really gross stuff. So watch along.
Yeah, watch along or don't. Or join our Discord and make fun of us for, having signed ourselves up for this form of self-torture,
Well, it could turn out well. According to Letterboxd, our friend Wayne gave this movie 3 stars.
Oh, high praise from an esteemed critic.
Yeah. I guess we'll read his review next week to see why he gave it such high marks. He marked it with a spoiler review warning, so I can't read it.
Oh, okay. Well, that was very responsible of him.
I don't want spoilers for the vomit movie.
Can't even imagine what that would be. Tell me what kind of soup the girl had before she vomits it up.
That could very well be. All right. It's settled.
Is this really going to be a puke movie? Or is it just gore?
Movie. It's a puke movie.
I don't like puke movies, dude. I don't like this.
I think you should have thought of that before, I guess.
But I like Journeys to the Center of the Earth. Is the suggestion here that you like puke movies?
Well, I guess
that is
the
transitive property of puke. I think that's what we've just established.
Would you rather watch a 2.5-hour movie where ants attack somebody's dick hole directed by Beelzebub? Would that be better? No, this movie is only 66 minutes, by the way.
I can't risk having Beelzebub turn up on my most watched directors list, so let's go with this other guy for once.
I think Beelzebub is dangerously close to being on my most watched directors list.
For this year, or just for in general, overall?
Overall.
Okay.
I think I need to start watching more Werner Herzog to make sure that he stays in and Beelzebub stays out.
There's no shortage of directors that are less awful than Beelzebub.
That's probably true. All right. Well, that's what we're doing next week.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. In the meantime, check out all of our stuff. Go to our YouTube. I just recently posted a 12-hour-long video compilation of every match that Dump Matsumoto wrestled in 1984, at least the ones that have surviving footage. I think I spent, 3 full nights with no sleep where I just was cramming through Final Cut, putting that together. So check it out. Enjoy it if you like Japanese wrestling, Joshi wrestling from the 1980s.
I like wrestling. I'll check that out. Yeah, I saw that you posted that, but I don't know that guy or that person. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah, well, she's a legend.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a new Netflix series, or I don't know, it might be a movie. I don't know. I couldn't tell from the trailer if it's a movie or a series, but like a biopic thing about her that's coming out on Netflix next week.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. Maybe somebody posted that in the Discord after you posted yours or something. But yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, well, now you can see the real deal, Bone up on 12 hours worth of wrestling history in preparation.
All right. Maybe I will.
We also got a website, junkfooddinner.com. It's got all of our back episodes of Junk Food Dinner and Junk Food Supper. Check that out, right? You encourage people to see that?
Absolutely, I do.
Would you say that people should also go to patreon.com/junkfooddinner where they can find all kinds of fun bonus content?
I would absolutely say that. I think we've probably done some Ghoul Summer episodes of the bonus episodes back in the old days. It's probably been a while, but yeah. If you're into Ghoul Summer, you can find more Ghoul Summer stuff there at the Patreon.
And yeah, I guess we should say, as of late, Bowman and I have been a little busy. We haven't posted as much to our Patreon as I think we would want to, as we would like to. But, these busy days will come to an end soon, and I think we'll start posting stuff there. I mean, give us a break. We reviewed every goddamn episode of Twin Peaks, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were doing 3 a month for a year while we talked about Twin Peaks. So, yeah, we're taking a tiny little break right now.
Yeah.
We did a lot.
But don't forget it's there, and if you want to sign up now and enjoy old stuff, you can. If you want to bookmark it and sign up when we start posting our next re-review of Twin Peaks Season 3, which is an inevitability. You can do that as well. But there's that. There's JFD podcast@gmail.com. That's our email address. That's one way that you can reach us. The other way that you can reach us is our phone number, which I think is 347-746-JUNK. I think that's 347-746-JUNK, which I believe is 5865. But save yourself the hassle and just go to facebook.com/junkfooddinner and click on the call now button, or find the phone number on our website, which again is junkfooddinner.com. And I think that's all of the things that we promote. Discord. Find us on Discord. That's a fun place to hang out. I think there's a link to that on our website as well. But if you can't find it, just send us an email or hit us up on Facebook and we will send you a link. But other than that, I think that's all I got. What about you, Bowman?
I believe so. I think that's everything. Happy Ghoul Summer, everybody.
Yeah, happy Ghoul Summer, everybody. Until then, keep washing them dishes.
I'm not like the biggest Power Rangers guy,